So I read the book this is based on a few years back, but I didn't remember that much about it. I know I didn't love it, but I thought there were some good stuff in it. So when I saw the movie was coming out starring Joaquin Phoenix and John C. Reilly, I was interested. But then it came out and I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about it. Which is kinda incredible considering the names attached to it. This thing is also made by the guy who made A Prophet like 10 years ago, Jacques Audiard. I guess that just shows how much stuff there is out there to watch now. You know, when a movie starring Joaquin Phoenix, John C. Reilly, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Riz Ahmed doesn't get any attention. And they're not playing small roles either, they're the main four guys, the ones actually on screen. What's even weirder is that the reviews seem pretty positive too. So you got a bunch of big name actors and a critically acclaimed director doing an adaptation of a fairly well-known novel. And it's well received by critics, but no one's really talking about it. I don't know, that's just super weird to me. I mean, if a movie like this can't get any attention, imagine trying to put out a movie made by complete unknowns. Or maybe people just aren't that interested in westerns these days. And oh yeah, it's a western about two brothers, the sisters brothers. And you know what? It's pretty good. It's not fantastic, but it's pretty damn decent. And the opening shot pretty much sold me. It's a really different take on a gunfight. And all the action in this is really well handled. To be honest, the whole opening sequence was just great. Some really striking imagery in there. And that's the thing about this movie. Visually, for the most part, it just looks good. But then every once in a while there's just a shot that sticks in your head. So this French guy definitely knows what he's doing behind the camera. Story-wise though, this thing started off kinda slow, and it took me almost an hour to really get into it. It also didn't seem even remotely familiar to me until that point, when I just went, oh yeah, now I remember. But I can't really compare it to the book either, since my memory is kinda hazy, which is probably good. Overall though, it wasn't the story that made me like this movie as much as I did. I mean, the story is good, nothing wrong with it, but it's the performances. Reilly and Phoenix as two brothers with very different personalities and worldviews is great casting. But so is Jake Gyllenhaal as this, learned man they're sorta in cahoots with. And Riz Ahmed as this prospector chemist guy. They're all just so fun to watch. The dialogue is very well written too, and the actors just sell it. It's also moderately funny. But the highlight for me is the interactions between the two brothers. That carries the movie, and especially John C. Reilly actually surprised me. Because I didn't know I wanted to see him as a badass cowboy until just now. But the thing is, he's the kind of gentle badass that's sort of vulnerable, but doesn't take any shit. And he plays it to perfection. The balance between the two is just spot on. I loved it. Speaking of loving it, the end is just great too. Really, really good. And I honestly can't think of really anything bad to say about this, other than the kinda slow first half. But when it gets going, it never stops. But as I said, it's not that great of a movie either. There's a lot of good stuff in it, but as a whole it didn't blow me away or anything. It's not really doing anything new either. It's a pretty basic western with some great performances. But it's a perfectly enjoyable and solid movie, and I wouldn't even mind watching it again. But yeah, it's a fine little movie and I think it does deserve a little more attention. But would I recommend it? Yeah, go watch it. Or don't. I'm not your daddy.